look for those Detroit Tigers to start coming up again soon. And they're not the only guys who are going to make some impact pretty soon here when it comes to some of the youth in Major League Baseball, because it's time for prospecting with the Welsh. He's got a pickaxe and he's been down on that farm mining prospects for your pleasure. Welsh, who do you like this week that you want to talk about that people need to put on their radars from the prospect pool?
All right, I got a theme for this week's prospecting with the Welsh, because I am going to talk about players, obviously, that we kind of know and we've heard about, because the idea of this is the impact players in the near future, and not all prospects just because they come up are necessarily impact. But here is the theme. These are Welsh guarantees. I'm going to put a guarantee next to each one of these guys. So let's kick it off with an obvious name. Hashtag free James Wood. We're always hashtagging free James Wood because we need to get him back up at the majors. But he's been hurt, or get him to the majors. He's been hurt, but he is now back in 5 games since returning from his injury. He's hitting .313. So this is the month of June, essentially. Got a homer and has 2 multi-hit games, because you're asking yourselves, Welsh, when will we see James Wood? Will we see James Wood? They also brought up Dylan Cruz. Is there anything that's holding him back? There's so much coverage of him because this is, I think to some degrees, James Wood has taken over this Junior Caminero spot. Like, I think he is more anticipated for James Wood. And I would remind everybody in my previous segments before, why we're re-talking about him as he's back, is that Eddie Rosario is still hitting under 200. Why does that matter as much? The Nationals are 3.5 games out of the wild card right now.
That's crazy.
They're quite a bit in their division.
And they're getting Josiah Gray back soon, too. Another addition to that rotation.
Josiah Gray, they're starting to get that, that health back. And what would help is getting Eddie Rosario, putting him on the bench and bringing up a guy like James Wood, which I've mentioned. He has a great strikeout rate that has lowered. That's been one of his biggest issues. He runs, he hits hard, and he has no split issues. Righty lefties are no problem with some of the swing changes that he's made. So all of that to be said, here's my guarantee. I guarantee James Wood will be up post All-Star break. So much so, I think there's a chance that we get the announcement during the All-Star weekend that James Wood will start with the team. So by the break of the All-Star break, once we return, James Wood will be up in the majors. That's a Welsh guarantee. Guarantees are not necessarily guarantees, and please don't hold him to it, and he might be wrong. All right, that was your disclaimer. Number 2, Orioles Kobe Mayo. Again, I know you guys know these players, but Kobe Mayo was out. He has been back 11 games in June. Are you ready for this, Joe? He is hitting .462 in the month of June since he has returned from injury, which is ridiculous. He has 3 homers in those 11 games. 4 of his last 6 games have been multi-hit with Kobe Mayo. Now, they have so many great players. We know. I mean, Heston Kjerstad. I would have talked about Heston Kjerstad. I would have talked about David Festa. But guess what? We've talked about them, and they're up. But David Festa, a twin. But I'm just talking about overall great prospects. But the Orioles have so many great players in general. And offensively, it's tough. So here's my Kobe Mayo guarantee. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Kobe Mayo will not be traded. There is no circumstance where he will be traded from this team. No way, Jose.
That's fun.
It's not happening. Kobe Mayo will be an Oriole no matter what they do. We talked about this player, Davison de los Santos, with Arizona Diamondbacks, who is
got him and Mayo same roster. I'm very excited to hear this one.
He's a monster. Me and Tim Kanak have been calling him the destroyer of worlds at this point, because he has been, but over 2 levels. He's hitting .348 on the season, AA and AAA, 23 homers in June alone. It's all been in Reno. PCL numbers get a little bit inflated. He's hitting .329 with 8 home runs this month. And by the way, he dropped 2 more last night. Eugenio Suarez, as I've mentioned, he's hitting under 200 on the year. And in the month of June, take a guess at what Eugenio Suarez, I think he might have just hit like a bomb the other day. What do you think Eugenio Suarez is hitting so far in June?
Under 200. I don't know, $180.
134. 134. So how much longer the Diamondbacks want to do that, I don't know. So I think Davison de los Santos will be up by next week. But the Welsh guarantee, Davison de los Santos, will be on the Diamondbacks roster post All-Star game. That is an absolute guarantee, if not sooner.
I like that.
2 more. We got pitching ones. We're going back to the Orioles. Chase McDermott. They already brought Cade Povich up. McDermott is the number 1 pitching prospect as far as what we think can help us in redraft this year. Now that David Festa, as we're recording this, is going today. 3.79 ERA on the year, leads AAA in strikeouts, has the 3rd highest swinging strike rate in AAA at 14.1, and the best K percentage minus walk percentage, which is a great number to pay attention to, at 19.4. He's had 8 strikeouts in his last 3 starts. 8 strikeouts in 3 of his last 4 starts. There's no reinforcements coming for the Orioles with all these injuries. So McDermott is like the next guy up if Suarez struggles or Povich struggles. But here's my guarantee. Are you ready for this, Joe? Chase McDermott does get traded. He will be traded at the deadline, because I fully believe that this team is going to make a move, and this will be the guy at the forefront with probably a Kjerstad. And then finally, I got an offbeat track one for you here. We're going to the Milwaukee Brewers starting pitcher Chad Patrick, who used to be an Arizona Diamondback, which is kind of a throwaway trade player to the Brewers. He's 25 years old, in AAA, 2.76 ERA over his last 12 starts with the Brewers. He's got a 24% K percentage, which is top 10 in AAA, the 4th highest swinging strike percentage in AAA. And over his last 4 starts, he has not given up more than 4 hits in a start and has 6 or more Ks in 3 of 4 starts. I guarantee Chad Patrick is going to be in the Brewers rotation by August. Those are my guarantees. Guarantees may, I don't know if it'll work out.
Oh, is there a disclaimer?
That's my disclaimer. Guarantees are not actual guarantees. Kentucky? 18 or over in Kentucky. Yeah, exactly. No, will apply. Thank you very much. That's prospecting with the Welsh for this week on the impact prospects that you should be paying attention to.